Welcome to Fantastic Vision. Please subscribe us before you watch today's video. Over the past decade, the core narrative of the global semiconductor industry has always revolved around the continuation of Moore's law, and even now, there has been no significant change. Because the arms race between TSMC, Samsung, and Intel in advanced processes directly defines the performance ceiling in consumer electronics, artificial intelligence, data centers, and other fields. However, as the United States gradually increases sanctions on China's semiconductor industry, a secret war intertwined with technology and geopolitics has quietly escalated, and even domestic production has undergone tremendous changes. Especially in recent years, the performance of Huawei HiSilicon Kirin chips has gradually increased, and even gradually caught up with mainstream flagships, which also means that its strength should not be underestimated. Recently, many bloggers have brought good news about the process, among which SMIC's latest N+3 process transistor density has reached 125 mtr a millimeter squared. It is said that it has been landed last year. This number is between TSMC N6, 113 mtr to millimeter squared, and Samsung's early 5 nanometers, 127 mtr a millimeter squared, equivalent to TSMC's 5.5 nanometers level. If the 14 nanometers process is used as the base point, density is about 35 mtr per millimeter squared. The density of N+3 has increased by more than 250%, which indicates SMIC's continuous optimization ability in FinFET architecture. It is worth noting that although the name of N+3 is easily reminiscent of equivalent to 5 nanometers, its actual performance and power consumption performance is benchmarked against TSMC's N7P, 7 nanometers enhanced version, and N6 processes. This means that with the same number of transistors, SMIC's N+3 energy efficiency may lag behind TSMC's N5 or N4 by about 15% to 20%, mainly due to the lack of process complexity caused by the shortage of EUV lithography machines. However, for domestic chips that have long relied on mature processes, this progress is enough to break many neck-stuck deadlocks, such as the return of domestic mobile phone SoCs. If Huawei HiSilicon Kirin chips adopt the N+3 process, their performance can be close to the level of Snapdragon 888, supporting the market demand for mid to high-end mobile phones. Moreover, according to the blogger's meaning, Kirin 9300 is likely to be equipped with it. It is also expected to bring automotive-grade chip upgrades and autonomous computing infrastructure, which means a series of great good news in the next market. It is important to understand that the performance of the Kirin 9020 processor is already very strong, and there is no particular pressure for daily use or mainstream game operation. The optimization of key functional features is also very strong. That is, it supports 5G technology, and it also has strong computing power, which makes its AI technology experience very good. Although I don't know what the process technology of the chip itself is, as the chip process technology of domestic foundries is strengthened, I believe it means nothing more. So the author is still looking forward to the performance of HiSilicon Kirin processors in the future. Even if it will not be used in Kirin 9300, I believe it will perform well in the future market. Of course, in the face of SMIC's pursuit, TSMC chose to consolidate its advantages with a more radical process route. In 2024, Apple A19 Pro, A19, Dimensity 9500, and Snapdragon 8x10 squared will fully adopt TSMC N3P, 3 nanometers enhanced version, process. Compared with the first generation N3, this node has a 4% increase in transistor density and a 5% to 10% decrease in power consumption. It also introduces high-density metal interconnection technology for the first time, further reducing the chip area. It should be understood that the Snapdragon 8 Extreme Edition 2 uses the first-generation CPU cluster design, that is, the 2P plus 6E configuration, and compared with the first generation, the main frequency will be significantly improved, and it is rumored to reach an astonishing 5.0 GHz, which is beyond 4.32 GHz. The Dimensity 9500 processor is built based on TSMC's third generation 3 nanometers N3P process, abandoning the traditional 4+4 architecture and adopting a new 2+6 design of 2 times Cortex X930 super cores plus 6 times Cortex A730 large cores. In other words, the performance of chips using TSMC's N3P process is still very strong, so for domestic manufacturers, the impact will not be small. However, what is more noteworthy is the N2 process that will be mass-produced in 2025. As TSMC's first node to adopt the GAFET, gate-all-around transistor, architecture, it is also very strong. For example, the transistor density of N2 is expected to reach 200 mtr per millimeter squared, which is 15% to 20% higher than N3E, and the voltage can be reduced by 15%, meeting the stringent requirements of AI chips for low power consumption and high computing power. If the progress goes smoothly, TSMC will completely open up the generation gap with Samsung and Intel, and launch the N2P process with backside power delivery in 2026, building an unshakable technical barrier within 5 years. In short, when TSMC drew the blueprint of below 1 nanometer on the N2 process, SMIC used the N+3 process to prove the resilience of China's semiconductor industry. Moreover, the essence of this process competition is not only a digital game of transistor density, but a comprehensive competition of national scientific and technological strength, industrial chain coordination ability, and strategic endurance. So, do you have anything to say? Let's talk about it together.